You don't know what's going to happen once you go off the road, once you start spinning out. You don't really know, oh my gosh, this could be the end, depending on what happens. Let's say I missed the cars and hit the pole. It could be a whole different story. I could be talking to you with no movement in my body.
I would have just been safer, more responsible. Would have driven a lot slower to ensure that my life was safe, and as well as, more importantly, my best friend's life.
I remember feeling scared out of my mind, and I wish there was like a real life undo button, but that's not like a thing, so.
Just sit down. Okay. And I just clamp this, right? Like that, that's good?
Yeah, put it in your pocket.
Hey, you want the pocket? So, like what kind of, do I? Okay, I'm looking.
Alright, now tell me your story.
Okay. Well, I was coming home from school.
All right, so about a year ago, I was with my friends, Orlando, Matt, and Jason, and we were on our way to go get Sonic to eat.
I was driving on 143. I had some food in the car.
It was on a Friday. It was a half day. I was driving to go get lunch with my sister.
It was 10 days before school ended last year.
I was driving. It was late at night, about 9:30. It had been raining all day. The roads were pretty slick. I go to make a turn on Tillman Street. I was driving with my best friend at the time. And when I go to make the turn, I lost control of the car and I hydroplaned.
It was a little busy that day with traffic, and Matt was talking on the phone, wasn't paying attention, and he made a left turn, but he wasn't supposed to turn, and all I remember is Jason saying, "Matt, Matt, Matt."
I went off the road. I managed to get my car back onto the road, but in the meanwhile, I spun out and went to a guy's driveway. He was throwing a party and crashed into 3 parked cars.
The roads were wet. It wasn't raining, but the roads were wet. And I was late and I was rushing, and I hydroplaned with my truck, trying to make a turn, and I started to swerve.
And I wasn't like intentionally like putting my foot down on the pedal to the metal, you know what I'm saying? I was just coasting, you know, what did I, just cruising along. I didn't look at my speedometer or anything.
And we were turning left to go into Tillman. So it was a yellow light, and we wanted to make the light because we were in the intersection. So we started to pull out, and a tractor trailer coming from the opposite direction, he ran the yellow light as well and crashed into the front hood of our car, and it spun us and pretty much demolished the car.
I'm sorry. I can't do this.
And before I knew it, we crashed, or someone hit us actually, and the car did like a 180, like spin, and yeah, it was scary.
My car did a 180 into the emergency lane, facing oncoming traffic, which was terrifying at the moment. I didn't know what to do.
And then I swerved the other way and hit a tree, fell into a ditch. And I guess what I learned is never be, even if you're in a hurry, there's no point in rushing because it's not worth it. And whenever the driving conditions aren't the best, to go slow because it's not worth it. And I found that out.
Luckily, nobody was hurt. Me and my friend were able to control the situation. I was driving at the time. And but it's scary to think of like what could happen if something had gone wrong, if cars were coming at the time, because not only was my life at risk, but then also I had the responsibility of my best friend's life too. And if something would happen to him, I don't know how I'd be able to live with that, you know?
I mean, I got the worst of it. The truck driver was fine, my sister, a couple of scrapes and bumps, but other than that, I got 12 stitches in my face.
It was scary, like I didn't know what was gonna happen.
It's definitely scary. I still remember it, like really vividly. Just going from like one side of the road to the other, trying to turn the wheel and correct it, but everything happened so fast. I wasn't able to. I lost control.
Wait. I'm sorry. I overreacted. You know, I'm just being like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I really, that was, I don't even know. That was stupid. Like, that was stupid. I'm sorry. But where was I?
My mom was pretty scared because she was at the place where I went to pick up my food, and she rushed there. But once she noticed everybody was okay and no one else was in any other cars, I mean, she wasn't too freaked out. She understands accidents happen, but it's better for them not to happen.
They were pretty devastated. My mom was the first one to come to the scene. She actually broke her phone on the way out. She was at work. When she got there, she was in tears. She was crying because I was trapped in the car because my legs were pinned from the dashboard. So I was just sitting there, bunch of blood running down my face, stomach. It was February, so I had shorts on and no shirt because I used a shirt to cover my face. So she was devastated, and my dad actually didn't get there until we were in the hospital.
I mean, I don't think they were mad. I think they were just, they wanted to make sure I was okay, you know. I came before the car, I guess. And yeah, so I think they were just happy I was okay.
I mean, they knew that it wasn't completely in my control, but they knew I could have done something to prevent it. They told me, like, they empathized, they had the same experiences when they were teens, but they just told me just be safer, especially if you have more than just one person in the car, to be a lot more safer.
What would I do different? Well, I go by that intersection every single day after school and going to school, and I know it's a terrible intersection, and I really should just take a different way to school and from school. It's worth 30 seconds of my time to, like, instead of risking getting in an accident.
I mean, I would have looked at the road more carefully. I mean, me not being the driver, I was in the passenger seat. I wasn't fully aware of the driving situation, so before we took the turn, I maybe would have looked to see if there's anybody coming.
I probably would have told Matt to get off the phone.
Definitely not reach for the food. It could have waited. I was 2 minutes away from home. So, I mean, I guess that whole thing where like 90% of accidents happen within 5 miles is actually true.
So it changed the way I drive because you never realize how easy it is to crash when you're in a car and how fatal it can be. So it really makes you pay attention to detail when you're driving, because it was one of the most traumatic experiences I've been through.